It is Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. I'm Pastor Thor Ramsey with Center Church. This is Gospel for Five, where we take 5 minutes out of our day, focus on the gospel, because Jesus is the gospel. So we're going through the book of Galatians line by line. Yesterday we covered verse 10, basically saying that if you're trying to rely on your own morality to be saved, the basic idea is this: if you break but one law of God, let's go through the 10 commandments. Do you love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind? Have you always done so? If you've done so perfectly, then you're Jesus Christ is who you are. But have you loved the Lord your God perfectly? No. Have you had an idol? Have you had something in your life that you look to the way you'd look to a God or the God? All right, have you lied ever? Have you stolen anything? Jesus took it so far as if you've even lusted after someone, you've committed adultery in your heart. It's hard really to get out from under the law and say, I've done all these things perfectly. And the point here is, cursed is everyone who does not abide by all the things written in the book of the law and do them. Why? Because they're from God. They are the laws of God. The God who is good, right, true, and just, and all his commands are good, right, true, and just. So who are you to not follow all of them? And if you break one, what are you? You're a lawbreaker. The word lawbreaker means sinner. The wages of sin is death. Can't be saved by your morality. Why? Because the wages of sin is death. And far be it from a God who's good, right, true, and just, not to judge sinners for their sin. You can't just let it go somehow. This has to be taken care of. Therein comes the good news of the gospel. Now it is evident that no one is justified before God by the law. Man, do you get a sense Paul is hammering all this home all throughout chapters 2? We know that a person is not justified by works of the law. By works of the law, we know that no one will be justified. Now it is evident that no one is justified before God by the law. On and on and on. Paul's saying you cannot be saved by following the law, which is another way of saying you cannot be saved by works. You cannot be saved by your own human morality. You cannot be saved by your good enoughness. Let me put it that way. So many people think they're good enough. Well, the reality is not to stand before the God of all creation. You're not. Now it is evident that no one is justified before God by the law, for the righteous shall live by faith. But the law is not of faith. Rather, the one who does them shall live by them. So the point is this, again, when God said to Abraham, through you, all the nations of the earth are going to be blessed, and Abraham believed him, God counted it as righteousness. That faith that saved Abraham came before the law. That's the big point here. It's evident that you're not saved by following the law because God said before he gave the law, the righteous, those who are right with me, will live by faith. In other words, they will be saved by faith, by grace alone, through faith alone, in Christ alone. The theme of this book, grace plus nothing. The righteous shall live by faith plus nothing. But the law is not of faith. Rather, the one who does them shall live by them. In other words, if you break one, you break them all. Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us. So Christ redeemed us from being slaves to the law. In other words, from being in bondage to the law, or being condemned, I should say, by the law. We're in bondage to sin, and because we're in bondage to sin, the law always condemns us. Because as we try to follow the law, sin pulls us down, and we break the law, and we're living in a cycle of continual condemnation. Christ has saved us from that. He's redeemed us from the curse of the law. There is now no condemnation to those who are in Christ. That is the good news of the gospel. For it is written, cursed is everyone who hanged on a tree. So Christ took the curse upon himself. The wages of sin is death. Christ died on the cross. He took the curse Upon himself, he died in our place. It's called substitutionary atonement, and thank God for that. But because it's by faith in what Christ has done that we're saved. Now, what has God said to you today? What do you